The presentation layer, layer 6, can be thought of as the conversion or the translation layer. When you think about it, when we send information from one computer to another, all we're sending is a bit stream, just a series of ones and zeros. And the ones and zeros are created by either fluctuating the current on a timing signal or not fluctuating the current on a timing signal. But that's all we can do. It's sort of like flipping a light switch on and off very, very fast. That's all it is. It's like very, very fast Morse code. So when a bit stream of traffic is coming and a computer is supposed to interpret that, how is it supposed to interpret those ones and zeros? Is it supposed to interpret them as text, or is it supposed to interpret them as a color? Is it supposed to interpret them as a movie or as a sound? And how is it supposed to know? At the presentation layer, these things are determined. What this next bit stream is going to be is determined. And it's coded onto the packet. It's added to that information. It's not really a packet yet. I'm using that term packet in sort of a loose sense because it's coded onto the data stream, which then at the transport layer will be turned into a packet. But it's coded onto the data stream so that the other side can then interpret it. For example, if we're using ASCII, ASCII is a text type of protocol which determines what text are we looking at. Is the next bit stream going to be text, and if so, then am I going to interpret these ones and zeros as letters? EBCDIC is text and numbers. JPEGs, GIFs, and TIFFs are all pictures. MPEGs are movies. There are also WAV type of files, which are sounds. So there's lots of them. We just listed some of the most common here, but there's lots of them that you could come up with, the types of files that we use. So again, these are quite recognizable because these are the types of applications, the types of information that we work with. And that makes sense because they're very close to the application layer. Remember, at the application layer is where the person is actually using that application. At the presentation layer is where, as that bit stream of communication comes out of that application, that's where the information is added to that bit stream, which will tell the other side how to interpret this bit stream. And that way we can have lots of different types of information flow going through a system at the same time, and the computer has a way of sorting it all out. Also, at the presentation layer, part of this conversion and translation is compression. If the protocol requires compression, the compression happens in the presentation layer. On the other side, if it requires the decompression in order to be read by the application, that happens at the presentation layer going the other way. So all of this conversion, translation, coding, decoding happens at the presentation layer, and that's what you should know from now on. When somebody says presentation layer, number one, you should know that it's layer 6, and number two, you should know that they're talking about the translation layer. They're talking about some kind of translation, coding, decoding, compression, decompression, all the different things that have to happen to get the packet ready for the next layer. And the next layer is, of course, the session layer. We'll discuss the session layer next.